Hello friends, so today's video is going to be a manga haul. On my main channel, I talk about all the time my local used bookstores and how fantastic their not only selection is, but the amount of store credit they give you when you turn things in. And that's very true of their manga as well. So Bookman's in particular, besides just having a huge selection of books, also sells musical instruments, movies, TV shows, video games, and manga. And so a lot of what I'm going to be mentioning comes from them. First up, jumping right into it, we have volumes 7 through 11 of The Promised Neverland. So I've mentioned before that I have seen the anime. I thought the first season was phenomenal. I liked the second season. I didn't think it was nearly on the same level as the first. And a lot of people who are fans of the manga say they left out so much. They skipped over so many important things and they felt it was a huge letdown. And it was funny because when I bought these at my local bookstore, the cashier, she was saying like, oh, it's one of my favorites. And I told her, I was like, oh yeah, I've seen the show, but I've heard the manga's better. And she's like, they left so much out. And she just kind of reiterated the same point that I've heard many a time now. So I am really excited to dive into this. I think because I'm somewhat familiar with the initial beginning of the story through season 1 of the show, that I think I will probably fly through the beginning chunk of this manga, and so I wanted to have quite a few of them ready to go because I'm sure I'm going to be reading through them very quick. And by the way, these were individually $6, but I had store credit, so I got them for basically free. Also from Bookman's, I bought volumes 10 through 12, the bind-up of that for Attack on Titan. This was essentially like a Christmas present to my husband because we have volumes 1 through 9 and the both of us are planning to read this. This is one that he's had on his list. He's a big manga reader and he's wanted to read Attack on Titan for a long time. And so I was like, well, let's get volumes 10 through 12 as well so that you have the first 4 bind-ups and then you can just pick up the next one as soon as you're done with volume 9. So I'm really excited for him, but I'm also excited for myself because this is a series that is on my list of 23 manga that I want to get to in 2023. And then to give you an indication of the price, this one was not used, it was new. So it was $20 for this bind-up, but that's pretty standard for what I've seen of these. And we had credit, so it didn't matter. We've had a lot of credit for a while, and we've been a little bit pickier with what we pick up, but this one was one that I thought anytime there's something both of us are interested in, it kind of is a no-brainer for us to pick it up. So very excited for Attack on Titan. Let me know with the manga that I mentioned, for the ones that have adaptations, have anime, do you like the anime more or do you like the manga more? I feel like most people are going to say the manga for The Promised Neverland, but I have not watched anything with the Attack on Titan anime, so I truly am in the dark when it comes to the series, and I'm kind of wanting to jump into it in the dark. I know a little bit about it, but not much, and that's kind of how I want to keep it, so that I will be very surprised. But I do want to know general feelings. Do you like the anime or the manga more? After that, another one that both my husband and I are interested in. He's read some of this and really liked it, but wants to continue on. And then I have it once again on my list of manga that I want to read in 2023, and that would be Golden Kamui. So these are volumes 5 through 8, so I got 4 of them. These ones were not used, so for single issues, it was a little pricier, but we once again had store credit, so it didn't cost us anything to get these, even though they were about $12, $13 a piece. I've heard fantastic things about this series. I hear it's really, really funny, but also really brutal and shockingly violent at times. But because of things like bear attacks and whatnot, not necessarily in the same way that maybe an action type of manga would be, but I cannot wait to start this series. I have found that I think manga does historical fiction very, very well, and so I'm excited to see that within this one. But they had, I think, more than just up through volume 8, but Sean kind of, you know, reined us in where he's like, okay, well, let's read through those first, and then maybe we can get more later. But they also, my downtown Phoenix library, because I live in Arizona, the downtown Phoenix library has a lot of manga. So a lot of what you're seeing is we're kind of getting ourselves ready to read through the beginning chunks of manga because they never have the first volumes at the library. That's the downside. They often have a lot of them, but you're basically out of luck if you want to start a new manga, which is why we're kind of getting a bunch of the, you know, like 1 through 9 or 1 through 12 of a lot of these series, because we want to be able to read as much as we can and then have access to volumes from the library. And if we really, really, really love the series, then maybe eventually get all of them. But for now, it's sticking to the beginnings of these stories. Next up, I was actually really surprised because I only found these just recently. In the past, I have not been able to find these pretty much anywhere, not at Barnes & Noble, not at our local bookstores, but this time around they actually had some of them, and that would be Dead Dead Demons. So this is one that my husband loves. He did check out some of these from the library, and he wants to eventually go back and read through the beginning again and then keep going. And so when I saw these, I was like, okay, well, you've read it and you've loved it, and I really want to read it. So these are just the first 3 volumes. These were a little pricier. They were $15 for the individual volumes. I'm not sure why this one is so much more expensive than a lot of the individual volumes of other manga series, but maybe it's because it's harder to come by. I don't know, but I've heard that this is really funny and really weird, and I kind of like weird and funny and abstract, and it seems like this story has that, so I can't wait to start it. I probably will try to start this on the earlier side of the year because it is one of Sean's favorites, and I would like to kind of see what all the bizarreness is all about. Last from Bookman's, we have Akira. We just got this first one, although I know for a fact that the last time we went in, they had more. And this is one that I am interested in, but I think Sean is a little bit more interested in this than I am. I think that it seems interesting. The art style looks almost more old school comic, but it is something that I am interested in, and obviously, like I said, Sean is interested in this as well. If we do like it, we probably will go back in and get the next one. Switching now to something that we got from Barnes & Noble. So we were a little sneaky where both of us have been interested in A Silent Voice for quite a while, but Sean really had his eye on these editions, and he's like, I want to wait until we either find it used or we find it on sale. And then at the end of the year, Barnes & Noble tends to have a half-off hardback sale, and I feel like a lot of us forget that there are some manga that come in hardback and that half-off sale applies to them. And so I was like, okay, well, we're not gonna get these for a better deal than half off. So we did get the collector's edition of both the first and the second. This sounds like a really sweet story, and this is one that I think will be a nice break between Attack on Titan and Golden Kamuy and Vinland Saga and Vagabond and some of those heavier, more adult stories. Seems like this one is going to be heartwarming, and you're just going to really care for these characters, and it probably has that like, aw effect, which I'm really excited for. And then last for today, I got this edition of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and so it comes in this box, and then you have the first and the second. These were used, and I actually got these from the app Pango. I've mentioned this app before over on my main channel, but the way it works is it's almost like going to a used bookstore, because you can sell and buy books and obviously manga and comics and things like that on this app, and you set the price that you want, and then what they'll do is you can, with the money that you earn from your sales, you can of course put that into your bank account, or you can keep it within the app, and it gives you Pango bucks, and then it's almost like store credit, because then you can just very easily use your Pango bucks to purchase other things that you're interested in buying. And so a lot of times I'll do that. I treat it like it's a used bookstore. So if I'm putting a special edition of something that I didn't end up loving because it came in a book box or something, a subscription, I will sell those, and then I'll use, you get how it works. I don't have to explain credit to you. So anyway, I did that for this, and it was actually pretty reasonably priced, even besides the fact that I used Pango bucks on it. I'm really excited to jump into this. The art style it seems just so whimsical and charming, and I don't really know all that much about this story, but I want to keep it that way because I want to be swept away in this story. That's it though for some manga that I have gotten recently. We actually did get some board games recently from our local bookstores as well. We got some more versions of Dominion for any of you that like playing board games and specifically like Dominion. So now we have a lot of boxes of Dominion. But anyway, if you are ever in the Phoenix area, if you're ever in Arizona, check out Bookman's. I say it all the time, but it really is a fantastic store and they have a lot of different locations. So yes, definitely check out Bookman's. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on any of the manga I mentioned. Like I said before, let me know how you would compare some of these to their anime. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day and I'll see you later. Bye.